Then, hi everyone, a very warm welcome to all of you from the Olympiad Success family. I'm Aarti and I will be your host for today. So students, as we were discussing earlier, today we are here for a demo interaction program for grade 9 CBSE. And kids, like you would be knowing about Olympiad Success. So basically, we are India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad examinations. And this year we have spread our wings into CBSE preparation as well. So we would make sure that this course is very rigorous, and like at the end of the course, you are able to obtain really good percentage, really good marks in your subject, okay, science subject. So the book which we would be referring to is Lakshmi Singh, and so we would want all of you to have this book with you. Also, like this course is a level up than your regular NCERT books, okay, which you read, because the book which we are referring is Lakshmi Singh, and that is certainly a level a notch higher than your regular NCERT books, correct? So kids, what we'll be doing is like in today's session, we would be like the flow would be, first of all, there would be an introduction by your mentor, Ashwaryam ma'am, and Anjali ma'am is also here. Hi, Anjali ma'am. I'll just make you the co-host. Okay, so basically we have divided this session, like you have 3 subjects, correct? In science, there are 3 subjects, correct? Physics, chemistry, and biology. So biology would be covered by Ashwarya ma'am, and physics and chemistry would be covered by Anjali ma'am, right? Yeah, so kids, like after the introduction by Ashwarya ma'am and Anjali ma'am, we would be having a short presentation on this course. Okay, so like the details about this course, and after this presentation, we would be having a short question and answer round. So if you have any doubts, you can write it down in the chat section and we would be happy to answer your doubts. Post that, we would be having the demo round by both your mentors. Okay. So like the time would be divided around 15-20 minutes for 20 minutes for Ashwarya ma'am and 20 minutes for Anjali ma'am. Okay. Okay, kids. So over to Ashwarya ma'am first and then Anjali ma'am for a brief introduction.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone. I can't see a lot of you. You don't have your videos on. I hope everybody can hear me. You can put it in the chat if you can. So just a quick introduction. My name is Ashwarya and I'm from Delhi. And education-wise, I have an MPhil in botany as well as a B.Ed. And for the past 3 years, I've been teaching for competitive exams. And of course, my main specialization is in biology. And here we will just be not only focusing on whatever syllabus you have for CBSE, but also, like ma'am said, that we have Lakshmi Singh as a additional book. So we will also be covering much more deeper concepts so that it's helpful for you in your higher classes, right? And just one request from all of you is that please be a little interactive in class, because bio can become very repetitive and very boring. Most of you would feel that, it's just a little rote method, but I would like to change that. And I assure you, by the end of your sessions, you will feel that, bio is not just learning, it is also about understanding. Just from your side, all I want is a little bit of interaction. That's it. So thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you so much, Ashwarya ma'am. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. And now over to you, Anjali ma'am, for a quick introduction.
Okay. Once again, I welcome you all to the meeting. My name is Anjali Joy, and I have completed my graduation in physics. So for the past 5 years, I'm teaching for grade 9 and 10 physics and chemistry part. So me along with Aishwarya ma'am will be dealing science for you, and physics and chemistry portion would be taken by me during the sessions, and biology part will be, as already discussed, Aishwarya ma'am will be taking for you. So what I want to tell you that is what we are going to do in this class is we are helping you to achieve more scores as well as achieving the in-depth understanding of the concept, and along with the animated videos, PowerPoint presentations, as well as giving you assignments and worksheet would help you develop more understanding of the concept. So you don't have to worry anything about that. And as Aishwarya ma'am said, you have to be very interactive so that you can clarify your doubts, and in the chat box you can then and there, whatever doubts is upcoming in your mind, you can then and there type it, and we'll be helping you together as a team. We are going to work as a family for you to help you solve all the problems related to science, whether it is physics, chemistry, and biology. And mostly I want to say that in physics, numerical problems are there, which are like a kind of horror for the children. So you don't have to worry anything about that. We'll be dealing it step by step, and all the detailed topics will be divided into different sessions. So in each session, we'll be dealing a little bit of that numerical problem and all. So along with the questions and exercises, it's all going to help you out to understand the numerical as well as the concept in a much better way. So what I want from you is that you should also consider that we are together, we are working as a team, and it's not like a teacher-student relationship, it's more than that. So we are here to guide you, to help you out. So you should consider us like a family and tell us whatever problem you are facing, whether you want us to repeat the thing or whether you want us to do some other presentation for the same topic. We are there to help you out in every possible way which we can as a team. So that's all.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anjali ma'am, for a wonderful introduction. So now, students, we would be having a presentation about this course. So Rajan sir, over to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, ma'am. My screen is visible?
Yes, now it is.
Okay, thank you. So students, welcome to the demo of Class 9 Science CBSE. So firstly, let me tell you about us, about Olympiad Success. So Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exams. We have Olympiad live classes, and this is our third year in live classes. So again, it is India's first exclusive live classes platform for Olympiad preparation. We have School Plus program. In School Plus program, we offer 8 courses that are mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication. In communication, spoken and written both, Vedic maths and coding. Now, what else we offer? We offer online CBSE classes for grade 6 to 12, one-on-one preparation classes for International Mathematics Olympiad, that is SESMO, CMO, Hong Kong International Mathematics Olympiad, TIMO, Math Count, US Maths Olympiad, Math Kangaroo, PRMO, and also JMN preparation classes. Now, these are rank holders for session 2021. So in different Olympiad exams, we got this rank. So 40 plus international rank 1, 70 plus top 5 international rank, and 120 plus top 10 international rank. Now about this course, there will be 20 students in the batch, and the classes will be conducted on Zoom platform. The days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So there will be 3 sessions per week. Time will be 6:45 to 7:45 p.m. So the duration of the class will be 1 hour. Okay. So the session include mix of theory, practice question, doubt session, and we will also discuss previous year paper. And this year we are going to refer Lakshmi Singh book. Okay. Now the fees for this course is 25,000 and the duration will be 10 months. Okay. Now the link for syllabus fee I will share in the chat box. The fee include online classes and practice of previous year paper. And students, if you enroll today, you will get free CREST Olympiad, that is CSO exam. Okay. Now what you need to require, what is required to join this course, a laptop with good internet speed and also headphones. Okay. Now, students, you need to give more hour to cope up with the curriculum. Why? Because we are also going to giving you homework, okay, assignments. So you need to done that. Okay, you need to complete it. Now, the live classes for this course will start from 30th March, and currently we have students from 3,800 schools, and we are catering in 35 plus countries. So this is about the course and about Olympiad success. Now, if anyone have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box.
Any doubts coming up, students? Any doubts? Aditi says she's clear. And what about others? All clear? Okay, Patricia also says all clear. All right, so then few basic questions, Rajan sir, and then we can get started with the demo.
Yeah, sure, ma'am, sure. So students, is it clear that what are the days on which we have the class? Please write in the chat box. What are the days?
Come
Okay,
on,
no response.
students.
Okay, so I think they are not responsive, ma'am. So can we start with the session?
Yes, absolutely. We should start because we have two demos, like two mentors, and we should start.
Okay,
So,
sure.
yeah. So who would be going first, Anjali ma'am or Ashwarya ma'am? Okay, so any one of you can come forward and
I'll go
you would
first.
be having around 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
For the other to take over then. Okay?
All right. I'll start. Is that okay, ma'am?
Yeah, sure. So enjoy your session, kids.
Just give me a minute. I'll just share my screen. All right. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This. What about the students? They are not responding at all.
So they will. You start asking the questions. They will.
All right.
So these would be interest to them, not the previous questions which we were asking.
All right. Okay. So I will talk about the chapter cell today. And we've done this chapter, all of you must have done a little bit of this chapter in class 8, right? So we will just take it a notch forward. We will be going into detail of all the organelles that you have a brief idea of. So can someone tell me what is a cell? How do you define a cell? In your own terms, no book, no definition from the book or anything. I just want to know what exactly is a cell. Yes, anyone? Yes, Khyati. You can put it in the chat. All of you, whoever wants to give an answer, just put it in the chat quickly. What is a cell? Correct. Yes, so Aditya has said cell is the basic unit of all organisms. Correct. And it's written here, the fundamental unit of life. When I say fundamental unit, what do you understand by fundamental unit? Is that it's a functional as well as a structural unit. Okay, so function-wise also it is the basic unit, whereas structure-wise also it's a basic unit. Like how in physics and chemistry you have atoms, in biology we have cells, right? So we'll just go through the concepts of cells. So before I start what exactly is a cell or what is the components of the cell, we'll just have a quick look at what exactly is a prokaryote and a eukaryote. Can someone tell me what do you mean by the term prokaryote? I'm sure everybody knows what prokaryotes are or what prokaryotes lack, because it's already written here that prokaryotes do not have a nucleus present. Can someone tell me what is the term prokaryote mean? Does anyone know? Primitive nucleus. Okay, correct. Khyati has absolutely correct. Very good. So pro here, it can be divided into two terminologies. Pro means not false. Pro basically means before or pre. Okay, and karyon means nucleus. So before nucleus. So these organisms lack a proper nucleus. That means they do not have a nuclear membrane. So since a nuclear membrane is not present, what happens? The nuclear material is free floating inside the cytoplasm. And since it lacks a nuclear membrane, it will also lack any sort of membrane-bound organelles. For example, you have mitochondria or chloroplasts or anything that is membrane-bound that will be completely absent in prokaryotes. That is why we call them primitive cells. Can someone tell me, are prokaryotes multicellular or unicellular? Unicellular, of course, you know that it means only one cell, and multicellular means multiple cells. Are they always unicellular, Khyati? Khyati has said unicellular. Yes, what about others? Usually, okay. They are always unicellular. Okay, there are no multicellular prokaryotes present because they are primitive cells and they will always be present as single entities. They can form colonies, like Khyati has said, blue-green algae. A lot of blue-green algae can combine together and form colonies, but they will not form tissues, right? They will function as individual cells itself. Any other example of prokaryotes, anyone? Any example of prokaryotes? Bacteria. All bacteria are prokaryotes. Very good. So all bacteria are prokaryotes. Okay. Moving forward to eukaryotes. U means true. I think Khyati had already mentioned that. And again, karyon means nucleus. So eukaryotes have a true nucleus. That means they have a membrane-bound nucleus present. So all the membrane-bound organelles are also present. So your mitochondria, chloroplasts, Golgi bodies, ER, everything will be present in eukaryotes, and they can have single-celled or multicellular organisms both. Okay. Any example of single-cell eukaryotic organism? Anyone? Single-celled, unicellular eukaryote. Does anyone know? Just take a guess. Even if you're wrong, it's fine. We're all here to learn. Amoeba. Flagella is a structure of the cell. Flagella is not a microorganism, but yes, amoeba. Amoeba is a eukaryotic single-cell organism. Fungus. Which fungus, Patricia? There are a lot of funguses. Well, there are a lot of fungi. Only one fungi is unicellular eukaryote, which is yeast. All other are multicellular. So multicellular, we have fungi, we have all your animals, plants, we're all eukaryotes. Okay. Any doubts so far, anyone? So these were your differences, major differences in the nucleus, and that they do not have any membrane-bound organelles. Similarities are that both will have a DNA, though the structure of DNA is different. We will discuss that in detail. Both of them have ribosomes because ribosomes are non-membrane bound organelles. Okay, they do not have a membrane, hence they are present in both. And both of them have a cytoplasm and they have a plasma membrane, right? Any doubts, anyone? Shall we move forward? So this difference you have to know. What is a prokaryote? What is a eukaryote? However many marks it comes for, we will discuss that later. So let's say if it's a 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 5 marker, accordingly we'll learn how to answer these questions, right? Moving forward to animal cell and plant cell. Now the major difference between an animal cell and a plant cell is first, a cell wall. Okay. Briefly, we'll discuss this because again, you've done this in class 8, right? Cell wall is present or absent in a plant cell. Can someone tell me? Where is the cell wall present? Present in plant cell or animal cell? Present in plant cell, correct. So this structure here that you see on the outside is a cell wall. Now cell wall will provide rigidity to the cell because they do not have a skeletal system, right? Like animals, we have a skeletal system, we have some sort of support. Other than that, we also do not absorb anything from the outside by the help of diffusion, right? We have proper systems for that. So here cell wall will firstly give rigidity, secondly provide support to the entire plant body, and thirdly will prevent or allow any kind of transport that needs to occur between the adjacent cells or from the outside to the inside of the cell or vice versa, right? So cell wall is the first major difference. Second is a vacuole. Now vacuole is something that is present in both. So if you see, there is a vacuole here, as well as you can see a vacuole in the animal cell as well, right? However, vacuole in a plant cell is usually single. There's one vacuole. It is large. It is usually located in the center. Why? Yes, absolutely correct, Khyati. There are multiple vacuoles in animal cell, however, only one vacuole in plant cell. Now, this is so because plants undergo photosynthesis, they need to store a lot of food and also take care of their water requirement. So vacuole here helps in storage of food as well as water, right? Animal cells, however, do not need to retain a lot of water because they have other vascular systems, or let's say transport systems that are present in them. For example, like in humans, we have the blood transport system. So anything that needs to be transported can be done through blood. However, in plants, that is not the case. Whatever they absorb from outside, that they regulate amongst the cells. So they need to store a little water as well. Okay. Third difference is the presence of plastids. Plastids, there are multiple types of plastids. We will discuss that in detail. One of them is the chloroplast. So chloroplast is the one which will have your chlorophyll. Now, in animals, of course, we are heterotrophic organisms. We do not produce our own food because we lack chloroplast and chlorophyll, and hence we do not require the presence of plastid, right? However, in plants, a chloroplast is required, and it is one of the most important features in a plant cell, which will allow photosynthesis, right? These amyloplasts and all are also a part of plastids only. Amyloplasts help in storage of different types of materials that we will discuss later once I reach plastids, right? Anything else, anyone? Anything else anyone can think of? Any other difference? Any other difference that you know of? Structurally, functionally? Yes, no? Anyone wants to give it a try? Yes, nucleus position. Nucleus, since the plant cell has a large central vacuole, the nucleus is usually pushed towards the periphery, right? And in animals, the nucleus position is usually in the center, and the vacuoles and other organelles usually surround this nucleus. Okay, anything else? Anyone? Anything else? Another difference is the number of mitochondria. Okay. In plant cell, we see that there are more number of mitochondria as compared to the animal cell, right? Now, this is not universal, or this is not general. Why? Because it depends again upon what type of animal cell we are talking about. Let's say it is an animal cell which is involved in production of energy, then of course it will have more number of mitochondria. However, in general rule, we usually see more number of mitochondria in plant cell as compared to any normal animal cell. That is because, again, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is done, energy is required, that energy is again converted into storage forms, and so on and so forth. So that detail we'll go into when we talk about these structures in general. Okay. Another thing is cell division. Okay. When cell division occurs, what is cell division? Is when a cell divides into two daughter cells, correct? So when mitosis or meiosis needs to occur, we are only talking about mitosis here. Meiosis we will not talk about because that is sexual reproduction. Any particular cell will not be involved in that. That is only your gamete formation. So mitosis occurs in plant cells without the help of any kind of cytoskeleton. So there is a presence of cytoskeleton. If you see here, there is a small structure present here, right? These structures are known as centrioles. These centrioles will help in formation of fibers during cell division. Now we will get into detail again when I come to each and every part of the cell. So here what happens is these centrioles are present. However, in plant cells, centrioles are completely absent. Okay, so we usually call the cell division in plants as anastral, and in animal cell we call it astral. Astral means star formation. So this centriole, when the cell starts dividing, it produces fibers which looks like a star. That is why astral. And here centrioles are absent, so we call it anastral. Okay, so these are the major 6 differences. If there is a question, centrioles can be, again, usually minimum there are 2 centrioles. Other than that, there can be a difference depending on, again, which cell we are talking about. Okay, for let's say example are nerve cells. Nerve cells never divide, so they lack centrioles completely. But then if there are cells which continuously divide, for example, red blood cells, or any kind of other blood cell or any skin cell where there is injury, number of centrioles will increase in number accordingly. So there is no fixed number, but usually there has to be a minimum of 2. Okay, understood? So 6 differences, and if the question is for 5 marks, you will draw the diagram as well. Okay, quickly moving forward. Let's talk about the main portion, which is the nucleus. Now, whenever we talk about the cell in biology, always remember, just so that it doesn't become overwhelming and so that you don't have to learn a lot of things, try and divide your study material, okay? So when we're talking about the cell, we divide the cell into 2 portions. One is the nucleus and one is the protoplasm. Can someone tell me what is the difference between cytoplasm and protoplasm? Can anyone tell me? Or are they same? I can use it in similar ways. For example, like how we use plasma membrane and cell membrane, it's interchangeable, the terminologies. Are protoplasm and cytoplasm also same? Just guess. Yes, it's same. Okay. It's actually not same. Protoplasm, correct. Anmol is correct. Cytoplasm plus the nucleus together forms the protoplasm. Okay. So let's say if you're talking about everything that is inside the plasma membrane, you will call it protoplasm, which will include the cytoplasm, all the cell organelles, as well as the nucleus. But if you're particularly talking about the cytoplasm, it will not include the nucleus. So whenever you're talking about the cells, it's divided into 2 portions, one the nucleus and second cytoplasm. Cytoplasm will contain all the organelles. Okay. So first we are talking about the nucleus. Our nucleus has basic structure. Main, we have nuclear envelope, okay, nucleoplasm, the chromatin material or the genetic material, and nucleolus and the nuclear pore. Okay, these are the 5 major parts of your nucleus. Now, this is a diagrammatic representation just for your better understanding. Now, the nuclear membrane, we have 2 membranes present. Okay, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Now, the outer membrane and the inner membrane are discontinuous in nature, and this discontinuation places where you can see little pores. These are known as nuclear pore. Okay, nuclear pore helps in transport. So that diffusion and everything is easier. Why? Because there's genetic material present, and the information of the genetic material needs to go out of the nucleus and into the cytoplasm, so that there is no interference and the protein or any kind of material is not discharged or charged. There are pores present and simply the material can go out. Okay. In the center, you will see that there is genetic material. We usually call it the chromatin fiber. Chromatin means condensed chromosome. Not condensed, sorry, decondensed chromosome. Okay, so chromatin is basically the genetic material. It will contain your DNA as well as some packaging protein. Okay, then we have the nucleolus. Nucleolus contains basic proteins which are required for replication and for the process involving the chromatin fiber. So whenever there is cell division, there are multiple proteins, RNA, mRNA, all these things required, which the nucleolus will provide. Okay. Other than that, you can see here on this diagram, there are certain ribosomes attached. Now, these ribosomes are not attached on the nucleus. The nuclear membrane is in continuation with the endoplasmic reticulum like this. And the endoplasmic reticulum will contain ribosomes. Why? Because when the genetic information comes out of the nucleus, it will not have to travel a lot. It will just simply go to the ER, which is endoplasmic reticulum. It has ribosomes, and ribosomes can undergo replication. Any doubts so far, anyone? Okay. Nucleolus is a structure inside the nucleus which contains information or which will contain certain kind of genes as well as certain proteins which will help in cell division. Okay, so whenever there is cell division that needs to occur, or let's say any kind of gene that needs to be formed, let's say a protein needs to be formed, right? So this entire DNA will not go out. A small portion of this DNA is replicated and this will go out. So whatever machinery is required to replicate this portion of the DNA is provided by the nucleolus. Okay. Shall we move forward? Okay, next we have the nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm again is something like the cytoplasm. Nucleoplasm will also contain certain kinds of amino acids and proteins, again required for replication. So when this portion needs to be replicated, it requires proteins, it requires energy that is present in the nucleoplasm, right? It's a fluid matrix gel-like material that is present inside the nucleus. Any doubts so far? Anyone? Yes. No? Either you've understood everything or you've understood nothing. If you have doubts, no doubt. Both. There are different types of proteins in nucleolus and nucleoplasm. I'm not going to detail as of now, but when we start with our classes, of course, I will tell you names of all the proteins that are present. Both have proteins as well as some sort of information for this replication process. Okay. Shall we move forward? All right. Coming to the continuation of nucleolus, so nuclear membrane. This is the nucleus. So if you see here, they have shown nuclear pore and the nuclear membrane. In continuation to the nuclear membrane, you have your endoplasmic reticulum. Now, endoplasmic reticulum is of two types. We have rough endoplasmic reticulum and we have smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Both are present simultaneously. However, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, the structure is a little tubular in nature. That means they have flat sac-like structure like this, right? Whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum are pipe-like structures. They are called smooth and rough only because of the absence and presence of ribosomes. So if ribosomes are present, They are called rough ER because they appear rough under the microscope, whereas smooth ER has no ribosome. If you see, there are no ribosomes present. Okay. Rough ER is responsible for protein formation. Okay. Any kind of protein formation is in the RER, whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum, I'll go to the next slide, is responsible for synthesis of lipids, processes or getting rid of all the toxins or drugs, and stores calcium ions in the cell. Okay, both will occur simultaneously outside continuation with the nuclear membrane. Any doubt, anyone? Lipids is your fats, right? So emulsification of fats or breakdown of fats is done by smooth ER. Okay. All right. Moving forward to Golgi complex. So what happens is, let's say a protein needs to be formed, right? That information has come from the nucleus, and that protein has been formed in the ER. Now from the ER, it needs to be transported somewhere, right? That protein has some kind of function. So either that protein needs to go to a particular cell outside this cell, it has to go to a separate cell, right? Or it has to go to a particular cell organelle. Or let's say the protein has been formed, it has to do a function and then it has to be degenerated because it cannot remain as such in the cell. Otherwise, it can cause problems in the cell. So who will take it to the respective place that it needs to go to? Golgi complex. Okay. Now, any kind of material that is present in your cell or in your body cannot roam around freely. Why? Because the cell will consider it as a foreign material and will try to destroy it. So to avoid that, there is protein packaging that is done in the Golgi complex. So what happens is, Golgi complex again are sac-like structures, and they will modify the protein and put it into these vesicles sort of structures. So vesicles are nothing but membrane-bound bags. So imagine like how, you have your Amazon packages that you receive. So what do? They put it in a cardboard box or a carton, wrap it up with the plastic Amazon paper and whatever packaging, and then send it to you, right? If they send it to you openly, then it will get damaged. Similar function is happening here. So the product cannot be sent open. So what they do is they package it into these vesicles, which are nothing but rounded packaging, just membrane-bound structures. The protein is present here, and wherever this protein needs to go, it will be transported, right? So let's say here from the rough ER, can you just have a look here? From the rough ER, your protein has come. So this is the protein that was modified, or let's say was formed by the nucleus. It got completed or modified in the RER by the ribosome. It is put into the transport vesicle, goes to the cis phase of the Golgi complex. Cis phase is nothing but the forming phase. So cis and trans is just because of the structure. Cis is the forming phase. It is modified and put into vesicles. So whatever structure it has to be formed into, it is formed. When I say structure, that means any protein molecule cannot be linear. It needs to be packaged. Okay. So imagine it like a long thread, the reel and thread that you get. If you just send that long thread somewhere, it will get entangled. So we don't want that. So what they do is they package it nicely so that it does not get damaged and becomes functional. And then it is transported out of the trans phase. Trans phase is the mature phase. And then it can go either outside. So let's say it has been sent outside through the plasma membrane, or it can be sent to any other organelle in the body or in the cell, sorry, or it can be destroyed. Whatever function it had to perform, it can perform here only, and then it can be destroyed as well. So it can have different states that we will discuss later, but this is the general functioning. Okay, so the endoplasmic reticulum and the Golgi complex will function as a unit together. Any doubt, anyone? Any doubt, any confusion? No? Okay.
Yes, Ashwaryam ma'am, I think we can start with the physics part now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful session. Anjali ma'am, now you can take over. You're on a mute actually.
Yes, students, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Okay, so before beginning the lesson, as you have already seen the topic, it's about motion. So some of you might have learned about this topic in your earlier classes, some of you might have not. But before beginning the topic, just let me ask you, what do you consider me? Do you consider me at rest or in motion? What do you think? At rest. Okay. Kathy, why do you say that I am at rest? What do you observe? You observe me rest because I'm not moving. The position or the wall around me is not moving. So my surroundings is constant. That's why you are saying that I am at rest. But suppose, Kathy, you are in universe and you are observing me. Then what do you say? You are in the universe, you are an astronaut and you're observing me from there. What would you say? Am I at rest or moving? Yes. So at the same time, when I am in earth, you're observing me from there sitting at home, you say that I'm at rest. But if you travel to universe, you would say that I am in motion. Why? Because you see me moving. Along with the earth, you see me rotating and revolving. So exactly.
Anjali ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but your slideshow is not visible.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share again.
Okay. So, is it now?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible now.
Okay. So what do you mean by motion and rest? They both are relative terms. Relative in the sense you will not say that you are in absolute motion or you are in absolute rest. It's always relative. Understood? So if the position of an object changes with respect to the surroundings. So what you're considering here, you're considering the surrounding, you're considering the wall behind me, you're considering my position. And if you observe my surroundings are not changing with respect to me, you would say I am at rest. What about the rest position? If the object's position changes with respect to the surrounding. 1 second. Let's start this. Okay. So if the position of an object changes with respect to time and surrounding, then it is said to be in motion. And if the position does not change with respect to its surroundings, then it is said to be rest. For explaining that, I have used an image over here. Can you see the image, everyone? Yes, can you see the image? Okay, fine. So what do you see here? Person A, B, and C. Person A is in the ground. With respect to person A, person B and C are in rest or motion. They are traveling in the hot air balloon. They are in motion. So person A would say B and C, you are in motion. But what about person B and C? What will person C says to B? Are you at rest or in motion? With respect to person C, he is at rest or in motion. Yes, Kathy, very good. With respect to person C, Aditi, very good, very good. With respect to person C, person B is at rest because for person B, the C person is not changing the surrounding. He is staying there along with him. So with respect to person A, both of them are in motion, but person B and C would see themselves as at rest. So motion and rest are relative terms. If the position changes with respect to the surroundings, then it is said to be in motion. And if the position does not change with respect to the surroundings, then it is said to be rest. So there is nothing called absolute rest or absolute motion. You always have to compare the rest as well as motion with respect to the surrounding. So you see the surroundings changing, you would say it is in motion. Is it clear up to here? Everyone? You understand what is the basic idea behind motion and rest? Okay, okay, good. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So types of motion. What do you see over here? What are the types of motion? Can you see the types of motion, everyone? Okay. So first one, let us see linear motion. What do you see in linear motion? Khyati or Raghvendra? Anyone can answer. Linear motion. What does happen in linear motion? The ball moves from position A to B in a straight line. So the ball is not changing its path. It is moving in a straight line from A to B. So when an object, yes, very good, Khyati. So when an object moves in a straight line, then it is said to be in linear motion. What about the rotary motion? Yes. What do you see in a rotary motion? Yes. Rotary, with the name itself, you can say rotary motion means when the object rotates around a point, like Earth, you can say Earth is having a rotary motion. Very good, Khyati. Okay. What is the next one? Circular motion. What do you see in a circular motion? From the name itself, you can understand circular motion. Object goes in a circle. Very good, Patricia. Okay, circular motion. So Earth has rotary motion or circular motion. Can you say? Earth is having rotary or circular motion? Both. Very good, Aditi. Very good. So rotary motion because it is having rotation, as well as circular motion because it is having circular motion around the sun. Very good. Very good, Khyati. What about periodic motion? Have you seen somewhere periodic motion? Object goes to and fro. Very good, Raghvendra. You can see that object goes to and fro in periodic motion. But more than that, periodic motion means, yes, pendulum. Very good, Khyati. Periodic motion means a motion which repeats after a regular interval. Okay, so it moves to and fro. Yes, pendulum. But periodic motion, by the name itself, you can understand a kind of motion which repeats after a regular interval of time. So you can say Earth is also having a periodic motion because 24 hours a day and night occurs. So it is having a periodic motion. Okay. Is it clear up to here? Types of motion: linear, rotary, circular, and periodic motion. So linear motion, when the motion is in a straight line. Rotary motion, when it rotates. Circular, when it moves in a circular path, and periodic when it repeats after a regular interval of time. Like your school bell, it rings after a certain like 30 to 35 minutes or after 40 minutes. So that is also a periodic motion. Is it clear up to here? Types of motion? Everyone? Okay, fine. So next we'll move on to distance and displacement. So if you are in motion, you are changing your surrounding. That means you are traveling a particular distance. But what is this displacement? Have you heard about this word, displacement? Anyone? Distance, of course, you are traveling somewhere. Yes, you are traveling for 60 kilometers or 100 meters. That is a distance. Okay, very good, Anmol. Shortest distance, very good. Total change from original position. Very good, Khyati. So this diagram would explain displacement is actually the shortest distance between the initial and the final point. Okay, the man can take any position. The man can start from this position, can take any position to reach the end, right? But what is the shortest distance? It is a straight line between the initial and final position. Can you see over here? To reach at the end position, the person can take any way, whatever that person wants. So whatever path he or she travels, that is called distance. But displacement is the shortest distance between the initial and final position. As Khyati has said, or as Anmol has said, it is the shortest distance or you can say the total change from the initial and final position. So displacement is this straight line, while distance is the path that person has taken. Is it clear up to here? Okay. So once again, to specify the difference between distance and displacement, I have given it in a tabular form. So first one is the actual path covered by an object. Can you see over here? The actual path covered by an object. That is called the distance, while displacement is the shortest path between initial and final position. As you can see over here, the starting is the initial position and the ending is the final position. So this path, that is displacement, while the person has taken an actual path, that is called distance. Second thing is scalar and vector. Have you heard about these two words, scalar quantity and vector quantity? Anyone? Scalar and vector quantities? Maybe it's a new to you. Anmol, yes. What have you learned about scalar and vector quantity? Okay. Let me tell you, scalar quantity means it has only magnitude. Magnitude means if I ask you, what is your distance traveled? You would just say the number, like 40 kilometers. Okay. Very good, Anmol. Yes. Yes, Aditi, very good. Quantity that has magnitude but no direction. Very good, very good. So scalar means, in simple words, I would say, what is the distance you travel? I travel 50 kilometers. I travel for 60 kilometers. So you would give me only the number, only the magnitude. But vector means along with the magnitude, you will specify the direction. Like 60 kilometers towards the east, or 60 kilometers towards the west, or 60 kilometers towards the right. It can be any direction, left, right, up, down, east, west, north, south. So displacement means you have to specify the direction along with the magnitude. But distance means you just have to specify the magnitude, like how much distance you have traveled, 40 kilometers. But what about the vector quantity displacement? 40 kilometers plus right side, or towards the right or towards the left. Okay. So that's why distance can never be zero. So if you have traveled a distance, you have traveled a path, you have completed a path, you cannot say that distance can be zero. For example, take the example of this boy. He started from position A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to A. That means he has traveled how much distance? 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus 5. How much distance he has traveled? The boy A has traveled total 16 kilometers. So he has traveled 16 kilometers. What about his displacement? His initial position is A. His final position is A. What about his displacement? No, overall displacement. Yes, Aditi, you are correct. His overall displacement is 0 because his initial position is A. Yes, he traveled towards the right side or left side, whatever place he may have traveled, but he traveled and he reached back in his original position, right? He went through a rectangular path and he reached back to its original position. So what was the displacement definition? The path between initial and final point. But there is no difference between the initial and final point. Both are same. So that means the overall displacement is 0. So this is the basic difference between distance and displacement. Distance can be 0. Sorry, distance can never be 0, while displacement can be 0. Do you understand? Patricia, is it clear to you how displacement is 0? Aditi? Who else is there? Raghvendra, is it clear to you? Everyone? Do you understand how the displacement is 0? Yes, very good. So initial and final positions are same. That means displacement is 0. So shall we move? Do you understand the basic difference between distance and displacement? Okay. So moving on to the next topic. Differences between speed and velocity. Now, based on distance and displacement, can you tell me, have you heard of the two terms, speed as well as velocity? Speed is actually distance per unit time. So we discussed distance. So distance divided by time would give us speed. Is it clear to you? We'll be solving numericals based on that in our coming sessions. But what is velocity? Velocity is displacement per unit time. So when you divide the distance with time, you get the speed. But displacement upon time will give you velocity, the same difference. Second difference is same, scalar quantity. So what is speed? If speed is distance upon time, it is a scalar quantity. Scalar means what? Scalar means having only magnitude. Yes, very good, Patricia. So what is your speed? Your speed is 40 meter per second or 20 kilometer per hour. Scalar, having only magnitude. So if speed is distance upon time, speed cannot be zero. You would never say that speed is zero, because if you have traveled a particular distance, distance cannot be zero. So speed also cannot be zero. What about the velocity? Velocity is a vector quantity because displacement is vector. If you remember displacement, then velocity is vector quantity. Magnitude plus direction. Very good, Kathy. So velocity can be zero. Yes. Why? Because if the overall displacement is zero, if the object returns back to its original position, then you would say overall velocity is zero. But speed cannot be zero. In other terms, this image would tell you speed is how fast you are traveling. So how fast you are traveling, if you tell I am traveling 40 kilometers per hour, you are telling only about the speed. But velocity means speed in a given direction. For example, 40 kilometers per hour towards east or towards west. If you specify the direction, you are telling me about the velocity. So if I ask you about speed, you would only say the number. You would only say the magnitude. But if I ask about velocity, you would say speed in a given direction. Is it clear to you? If you learn the difference between distance and displacement, is there no direction when displacement is zero? See, when you are calculating velocity, Kathy, very good question. See, this is about direction is there, of course, but this is about the numerical problems you are solving right out there. So in that, you are using the formula displacement upon time, but you are not specifying direction over there, right? So if your overall displacement is zero, whether you have traveled towards east or west, you reached back in your final position. So there is no need to specify the direction. So overall displacement is zero. Understood? So velocity will be zero because your initial and final positions are same. Understood, Kathy? See,
Anjali ma'am, I think we are running out of the time, so I think we can wrap up.
Okay, fine. So remaining all things we'll be discussing during the class. Okay.
Thank you for the wonderful session, Anjali ma'am and Ashwaryam ma'am. So students, you can just let us know in the chat box how was the session, and if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. Okay, I take it as no, that no one have any doubt. So in the chat box, students, I have shared one link, so please copy this link and save somewhere. Okay, to register for this course, you can use this link. And now we will meet you in the live classes. Okay, so the live classes will be start from 30th March. Okay, students, so to register the course, you can save this link. So thank you, Ashwaryam ma'am. Thank you, Anjali ma'am. Thank you, kids, for the wonderful session. Okay, Yeah, so I think now we can meet in the live classes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Thank you. Okay, cost is 25,000. Any other question anyone have? Yes, 3 classes per week. Days will be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. MW. Okay, I have shared the links also again. Okay, so if you have any query, you can just ask. There is a WhatsApp number. Okay, you can ask the query there. Okay, Khyati is right. The class was great. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, students, now we will meet you in the live classes. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Bye bye.